remove aside football, here comes baseball. Um, obviously we're gearing up for another season of the MLB. People say a lockout is incoming in 2027, but we're looking forward to 2026 right now. But what are some key factors this season that we're looking for heading into spring training? Evan, I'll throw it over to you, man.
Three biggest things I'm looking for right away. I want to see how dominant the Dodgers are, of course, with the lockout maybe pending. Because if you think back to it, last regular season they weren't even that good. I think they only had of course they were good, but they only had like 91 wins, 92 wins, low 90s wins, and then they of course went on the run in the playoffs. I'm curious to see, especially in spring training, Edwin Diaz coming over to the Dodgers. Um, can they rehabilitate him? Of course, he was good with the Mets, but in clutch moments, sometimes he wouldn't be that great. The Dodgers have made so many good players, great players. Can they do that with Edwin Diaz? And can he be a lights out closer for them? That will be interesting to see as they're entering spring. Um, Another thing I'm looking for, do the Mets take the next step? Of course, you got Juan Soto centered around. You don't have Pete Alonso anymore. But Juan Soto is the center of your franchise. Bo Bichette, come on down. Luis Robert, come on down. Like all these different guys. Marcus Semien, come on down. The Mets signed so many people. Disappointing season last year. Do they take that leap back up to where they were in 2024? They'll be interesting to see all those new guys in spring training. And then the AL East race. I'm curious to see how some of the AL East teams look in spring. The Red Sox were very active in the offseason. How did they look? Toronto coming off almost winning the World Series. They made some moves. How did they look? How the Yankees looked? Are they just centered around Aaron Judge, or do they have someone else step up to the plate? I'll be looking at those three teams in spring for sure. But what are you looking for, Jake?
Yeah, Evan, how the AL East race shakes out, I think that would be a good race. I think between the Red Sox, you got the Blue Jays, you got the Rays, who were kind of always at the bottom of that division, but maybe they can start making some noise. You got the Baltimore Orioles, which I maybe they didn't meet expectations last year, but we'll see how they shape out this year because Aguilar Westman, have a big year step forward. The other one I'm excited to see how the Marlins do. Obviously trading away Edward Cabrera. Many people see that as a gap in their rotation. They sign, but obviously the Marlins fan, that's not really a gap. They signed Chris Paddock, who was drafted by the Miami Marlins. Obviously they still have Sandy Alcantara, Perez, in the major leagues. They're getting Braxton Garrett back in a couple of in a couple of months, I believe it is. They have some good pitching prospects down in the minor leagues. Thomas White, who will see this spring training, Robbie Snelling, who will see, the spring training, of course. And one of the big storylines for the Marlins I'm looking forward to is, two our top two catchers on our roster is participating in the World Baseball Classic, so that means we'll see a lot of Joe Mack this season. Well, in the spring training at least, and we'll see if he, starts the season with the major league club or not. But that's one of the most exciting things I'm looking for. And the other one is, I'm agree with you on the Mets situation. Obviously they went out and signed a bunch of guys, so we'll see how the Mets look and if they take a big leap forward. Like they're expected to.
Yeah, that would be funny if the Mets spent all that money just for the Marlins to finish ahead of them. I would like to see that. That'd be great. Yeah.